cases where online isn't shared. So if I'm in Bakersfield Community College and I need to take a course that's offered online here at Long Beach, there's not a way for me to do that. Believe it or not, with so many campuses, sometimes we don't share this particular function. And there is a little known entity in our state budget. We've defunded every single year, and it was to call forth this virtual campus, if you will, to have all of these courses pooled in a way where it would be a marketplace for students to find the particular course and really leverage our campus structure. Lots and lots of rules in the legislature prevent that from happening, and I hope that the commission would look into that. If I could just give you our overall thought on what needs to be done to make this experiment work, I think as my written testimony submitted, it's simply about the credit. MOOCs, as you probably know, get a lot of criticism because of the passage rate. And I will tell you that I think it is, of course, always a policymaker's concern when you have a 4 or 5% passing rate in a large, massive online course. I think that changes absolutely almost reverse when you allow for a student to get a credit for it. So if you imagine the MOOCs today are really in some sense interest-based MOOCs. Students or others take these MOOCs, they get the information that they wanted, that they needed, and they're done. There's really no need in some cases to actually complete a MOOC because in some senses, a lot of folks are taking it as interest-based courses. Now, if MOOCs are going to be an answer for our system, I think the real question simply is, how do we make this, if you will, more critical mission approach so that students actually have the ability to take a MOOC tied with the university and receive the credit? I think there's going to be lots of discussion in the legislative arena this year about providing a path to access. And I think let's start with Governor Brown's first push out of the gate. Wasn't open, it wasn't just online. The governor said any student at a community college that takes over 90 units ought to think about taking those other units at out-of-state cost rates. In other words, you're not going to get the subsidy that was just mentioned earlier, the 75%. Well, if you can't find within the 90 units the courses necessary for you to transfer or to move on, if you can't find Algebra 1, which right now has a backlog of 500,000 students in our California community college system, if you can't find English 1, if you can't find statistics, if you can't find the general education courses, what you normally do is you just take filler courses till you finally get into the Psych 1 course you've been waiting for 2 semesters. That keeps students at our universities, particularly community colleges, there longer. It doesn't allow them a path to completion. And in many cases, if you think of a path, I'll use my son, he's at Santa Monica City College. So he waited for Algebra 1 for a semester, couldn't get it. And then applied the next semester, had a little more priority, couldn't get it. Finally gets into the course the 3rd semester. He shows up to class and he is put into a class with 50 students, and the first thing they do is turn on Pearson's Math Lab. So now they're working at the computer in a self-assessed course with a little help from the professor, but they're literally working and limited by the seat. And yet they are working off the computer. And the larger question simply is, how many students could have done that from home? How many students might have wandered onto the campus to ask the 1 or 2 questions? Or in the new online mode, how many could have found a peer-to-peer experience or a professor ready to answer a question? And if you think about that real-life example